That was a tune from 1942 called In the Bag, as performed by Lionel Hampton. Would you believe that was the B-side to Flying Home? If you bought the 78 RPM record of Flying Home, if you flipped it over, that was on the other side, In the Bag. You heard Craig Fudig at the vibraphone, Natalie Scharf on the tenor saxophone, Brian Clancy on the clarinet, Jerome Smith on the trombone. And that was Harrison Ball on those ripping high notes. Up next, we're going to do another Hampton tune, since we've got the great Craig Fudiga with us. This is called Hamp's Got a Duke. We're going to do a Lionel Hampton three-peat and do one more Lionel Hampton tune. This is a song that's so obscure that it manages to not be in many discographies. This was recorded by Lionel Hampton possibly in 1944 and 1945 with the great Dinah Washington singing. And of all of the recorded versions of this song, there's basically theirs. And the Campus 5 has also recorded a version of this. We're going to bring Hillary Alexander back to the microphone. Welcome her, if you will. This is Lionel Hampton and Dinah Washington's Arkansas.
in her name, Arkansas. Heaven smiled because she planned to make it as great as anyone in the 48. Nature lent a helping hand so no one could change Arkansas. Living there is mighty grand in Arkansas. That's where you hear love and music that plays all day. Everyone is so friendly. When you get there, brother, you want to stay. When they call the final roll, you've got to go. That's the law. Lordy, make him send my soul to Arkansas. Thank you so much. That was Arkansas.
For our next song, this is sort of what I'd like to consider the Jonathan Stout Orchestra's signature song, dating back to its very first gig 21 years ago. There are songs that matter to jazz fans, there are songs that matter to jazz historians, and there are songs that matter to swing dancers. And those are not necessarily the same thing. This next song was something that Arty Shaw never recorded in a studio, but it was captured live over the air on a radio broadcast. Among jazz fans, this is a footnote. Among especially Balboa dancers, this is like one of the great jams. From 1939, we give you Arty Shaw's Man from Mars. Shaw's band from Mars. No Snake Kettner on the clarinet. Arty Shaw on the tenor saxophone. Dave Cosmine on the trumpet. Riley Baker on the trombone. Chris Doss on the piano. Josh Claus on those drums. Well, I said this last night, and it proved to be true. But this is another song that you may well have a Pavlovian response to, that you might break out spontaneously in a mass line dance. And if you don't, that's cool. You're allowed to Lindy Hop to it too. But I have a bizarre feeling we're all going to do the same thing in a few short seconds. Here's a little piece of Jimmy Lunsford. This is called "Tain't What You Do." My daddy said, son, come here to me. Some things may come, some things may go, but this is one thing you ought to know. It's the way hot you do it. It's the way hot you do it. It's the way hot you do it. Mama, mama, it's the time that you do it. It's the time that you do it. It's the time that you do it. Don't mean a thing. Greasy. It's the place that you do it. It's the place that you do it. It's the place that you do it. Funny. Looks like I was right. All right. We're going to do another Lionel Hampton tune for you. We're going to bring up Craig Fudiga at the vibraphone. And this song is, along with Boff Boff, is one of my favorite pieces of automatopoeia. This song is called Giddy Up. And whenever I have to remember the tempo for the song, I think, Giddy Up, Giddy Up. Lionel Hampton, here is Giddy Up. Give it up for that insane trumpet section. Those are some screaming high notes that are practically inhuman. That is some serious heavy lifting. That was called Giddy Up. Craig Fadiga at the vibraphone, of course. We're going to bring Hillary Alexander up to sing this next tune for you. Slow the tempo down just a bit. Give you a breather. This is from the book of G. Krupa. Yes, vocalist Anita O'Day. Here is the Boogie Blues.
Shining through the trees. Don't the moon look lonesome shining through the trees? Well, don't your arms look lonesome when your baby backs up to leave? Said I'm going up on the mountain to call that baby of mine. Then I'm going up on the mountain to call that baby of mine. Nothing up there, bring back a baby of mine. Would like to go to the country, can't take you. Would like to go to the country, can't take you. Nothing up there, a man like you could do. He's got a face like a fish, shaped like a frog, but when he loves me, I holler, hot dog. Love that man better than I do myself. He left me all alone on the shelf, on the shelf. Two more songs, then we've got the Open Lindy final coming up. If the competitors and judges would come check in with us, that would be great.
All right. Hey, y'all. I'm trying to do my best to, keep things moving along. But I do need to introduce this next song, so if you can all hold it down for 1 second. Thank you ever so much. Seriously though, I swear, I really am doing my best to give you a little bit of information, but keep it as tight as I can. But this one you actually have to listen to and just keep it down for a second. Your friends will still be there in a minute and a half, I promise. This is a song that, if it were played insincerely or without recognition of what it is, would maybe not be the best idea. And it's also one of the all-time jams, and that's kind of a fascinating conundrum. This song comes to us from a musical called Jump for Joy. And this is a production that Duke Ellington staged along with a bunch of other black artists. And the whole point was to do an all-black review specifically for the black gaze and not the white gaze. There had been all-black reviews that had been specifically targeted to entertain white people, but this was a by blacks for blacks production. And many of the themes are some heavy stuff. They have the literal death of Jim Crow. They have Uncle Tom just being a chicken shack. Uncle Tom's Cabin being a chicken shack now. It's some heavy stuff. This song is the title track. It is called Jump for Joy. And the lyrics talk about leaving the South during the Great Migration, leaving the land of cotton for greener pastures. And these slave dogs have literally been healed. Some heavy shit, right? We're not playing here. And to find these greener pastures were just a Technicolor movie, because where you went to other places, there were still all sorts of other things like redlining and other forms of racism that even if it wasn't the Jim Crow South, it wasn't necessarily fixed. And I have talked many times about the fact that this song is this amazing message wrapped up in this like total jam of a tune. Like if the last, 16 bars plus 4, last 20 bars of this song don't make you want to just swing out so hard, you're probably dead inside. And I always try to reconcile, like, how do those incredibly important heavy messages go together and this jam of a tune. And I've often talked about the fact that it's sort of this spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down thing. But you know what? Somebody brought this to my attention, that's not quite what's going on here. And I'm very grateful to the person that did this, because I try not to ask anybody to do emotional labor for free. But my friend pointed out that there is a tradition in the black culture of celebration, not despite adversity, but like through adversity and in recognition of adversity. And that's what this song is about. And I was so grateful that this person brought this to my attention, because I was aware of that tradition. I just never connected it to this. And so, especially because I do not live in that tradition, and that is not my lived experience, I was grateful that that person shared that with me so that I could properly give the context of this tune. I was reading Ted Gioia's History of Jazz, which is a great jazz history. You should all check it out. And he talks about the fact that New Orleans in the 1850s and even through the whole 19th century, the mortality rate of this swampy city was like through the roof. And that there was this culture of memento mori, of you better celebrate because everybody's dying of cholera constantly. And that jazz comes from this place where everything sucked, everything was hard, people died constantly, and that's why you have second line funerals. That's why you had jazz bands. And the thing about jazz bands is they were there to rock a party. It wasn't art music necessarily, even though it was artful. They were there to rock a party, to shake people's butts, because for tomorrow we may die. And that's sort of where jazz comes from functional music to help people celebrate despite all of the things. And so this song is an encapsulation of all of that great tradition going back to the history of jazz, and all through the threads of black culture. I mean, what other culture would celebrate finally getting told that you were emancipated, even though you weren't yet actually emancipated and all that stuff? That's what Juneteenth's about. It's about getting the message and celebrating that even though things aren't fixed, you still have to celebrate through all of that adversity and despite it. So this is not my tradition, this is not my culture, so this is my best explanation I can give to you. And so I hope that gives you some context of why this song is both serious as a heart attack and also such a banger. Okay? So, I would also like to say this. I talk a lot on microphones, and I seem to sound like I know a lot about what I'm talking about. And I'd like to think that I sort of do. But I am always grateful for anyone that sets me straight about anything that I've misunderstood or said incorrectly, because I get up here and I just sort of start talking extemporaneously, and sometimes I might not say it exactly the way I'd intended to. So take everything that I say with a grain of salt. There isn't actually a quiz later. Yes, thank you, Natasha. But I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys bringing everything to a screeching halt so I could tell you this stuff. But I just mean to say that, like, I'd like to think I have some expertise, but there's always more to learn. There's always a way to get it right. So if anybody ever needs to, like, say, hey, oh, you know, I think that's not quite, please, I relish that. So I thank you very much to the person that told me that. I don't want to call her out because she was kind enough to talk to me about it, and I didn't ask her if I could be like, hey, can I tell everybody that you told me? I don't want to do that. But I'm so grateful that she brought that to my attention. So, in the amazing African-American tradition of celebrating not just through adversity, but like kind of because of adversity and just finding that joy, this song is called Jump for Joy. Y'all better be jumping.
Don't you grieve, little Eve. All the hounds, I do believe, have been killed. Ain't you thrilled? Jump for joy. Have you seen pastures groovy? Green Pastures was just a Technicolor movie. When you stomp up to heaven and you meet old St. Pete, tell that boy, jump for joy. Step right in. Thank you so much.
Duke Ellington's Jump for Joy. Give it up for this fantastic band. We've got one more song for you. We got to give it up for them. Making her Camp Hollywood debut, currently in Chicago. Give it up for Natalie Sharp on tenor saxophone and clarinet. On alto and clarinet, that's Brian Clancy. On lead alto and clarinet, that is Jason Fabus. All the way on the end, on baritone saxophone and clarinet, that's Nate Kentner. And it's my honor and privilege to introduce to you on tenor saxophone, the heart soul of the Campus 5, Albert Alba. Our trombones, Riley Baker, Jerome Smith, Lucian Cobb. Our trumpets all the way in the back, that's Dave Cosmina. Forrest Powell, Harrison Ball, and Gordon Au. On piano, the Prince of Keys himself, that's Christopher Dawson. On the big bass, leader of the Rhythm Serenaders, your band tomorrow night, that's Michael Gamble. On the drums, the one and only Josh Colazzo. Every time we get to do our extended full-size big band, we get to have this fine gentleman. On the vibraphone, Craig Fundiga. Of course, my co-band leader, your vocalist, Our Lady of Song, and your host here at Camp Hollywood, Hillary Alexander. And my name is Jonathan Stout. Thank you so much. That's a lot of people introduced, and I'm trying to introduce, and I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. We have one more song for you before it's contest time. We give to you another Duke Ellington song. This is originally written in 1930 and recorded several times during that period. But Duke liked to play his jams, his old tunes, but he liked to evolve them. Unlike the Basie Band, which, you know, they played Woodside and 1 O'Clock Jump for years and years and years, but they didn't really play their old hits constantly. They made new ones. The Duke Ellington Band always played their old jams and kept updating them and updating them and updating them. And this is perhaps the finest example of that. We give to you now our last song. My name is Jonathan Stout. This is my orchestra featuring Hillary Alexander. And here's Duke Ellington's Rockin' and Rhythm. all so much.
First of all, y'all packed this house tonight. Give yourselves a